So it's the consistent practicing on a daily basis that reshapes our nervous systems. And so consistency is key. And regulating not just when we're in high distress. We want to regulate when we're actually having, lower experiences of distress. And again, there's lots of ways we can regulate. Chanting is a way to regulate. Singing, dancing is a way to regulate your nervous system. Swaying, literally swaying back and forth with your hand on your chest. This is very innate in humans. If you have the ability to empathize, when a child is crying, a baby, the impulse is to go get them, to pick them up. And guess where so if a child's crying, they're in their sympathetic nervous system. And what do? We put them on our chest. Guess what we then do? You know this as a mother. You then tap them on their back. You're literally tapping them on their sympathetic nervous system. That's where it lives. That's the general architecture. And I'm connecting them to my regulated sympathetic nervous system. And then I'll usually start swaying, bilateral stimulation, and then I might hum or sing to them. So you're already an expert in this work. We just have to remember how to come back into it. And within a few minutes, their nervous system regulates with ours. And I do this, what I'm doing right now, with myself. So imagine you are that child, because in a moment we're going to talk about parts, but these are parts of us that are in distress. So those are some simple ways to regulate. We can use our breathing to regulate. It's a direct route to regulating the nervous system. Not all breathing is the same. So if you are in your sympathetic nervous system, holotropic breathing or kundalini breathing is not what you want to do unless you have a very strong nervous system that can come out of dysregulation on its own. So if you go to a breathwork class and you end feeling extremely regulated, very clear, that means that your nervous system has the strength to go into dysregulation and bring itself out. A lot of people don't yet have that strength in the nervous system. So what they do is they leave a class like that and they either feel anxious or they're in dorsal and they think they're regulated. So they feel slightly out of it, just like a little I feel a little fuzzy, but this is good, right? No, you just actually got more dysregulated. You went further into shutdown. So it's really important that when we're in our sympathetic nervous system, if you started to do rapid breathing like this, you're essentially telling your nervous system, yeah, there is a lion. I know you think there's a lion. The lion's closer than you think, which amps up the sympathetic. So instead, we want to do shorter inhalations, longer exhalations. Simple breathing cycle you can do is inhaling for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale like you're blowing out a candle for 8. The constricting of the air on the way out is very important. Another thing, in any state that we're in, when we're dysregulated, our lungs constrict. So that means that we're not having full breath and full exhalation. So a simple thing you can do to let your lungs know, hey, we're actually safe, because all of this is speaking the language of the nervous system, is taking in reflexive inhale and then exhaling through your mouth until there's absolutely no air left, meaning the only option is to take another breath in. And it's going to be pushing air out farther than you think. Most of us hold breath and we hold a little bit of air in our lungs. And yeah, try it and keep going and just notice the point where you're like, I think I'm ready to take a breath in, and push beyond that point. And for everyone listening, try this out. What we want to do I know it's a lot, emptying the fullness of our lung and push until there's no air, and then let yourself breathe in. Yeah. Okay. Great. That's what we want to do. So what you're doing is, in the full emptying of your lungs, you're allowing them then to expand further. So it's almost like if you were to massage something gently, that's what we're doing. Instead of like lungs expand, trying to push our lungs to expand, they're going to constrict more. And in that, because everything has all of our organs have nerve endings around them. Thousands of nerve endings. They're like tentacles. And when we're able to do the things I'm talking about right now, which is talking to our organs and the nerve endings are listening. They're like, oh, the lungs are relaxing. That means we're safe. And so 80% of information goes from our body to our brain. So if we can get the nerve endings to go from constricting to relaxing, it communicates that the coast is clear and we feel better. And so these are just some ways. Just lastly about breathing. Dorsal, when we're shut down, we want to bring energy in. So a simple thing you can do is a 2-part rapid breath through your mouth. When you breathe through your mouth, it brings energy into the body. And we don't want to bring too much energy in, just a little bit, like waking the system up. So something as simple as like this. And then rest. It's like giving myself just a little bit of a shot of energy. If you bring too much in, you might go into your sympathetic system, and then we just rest and notice. And you can repeat that every minute or two till you feel a little bit more energized. So breathing is a great way to regulate. And the other thing I just want to name is regulating needs to become a way of life. And I said this actually to a group program I was running yesterday. I had this plant in my house, this fiddle fig in my dining room, and my dining room didn't get a lot of sun. It doesn't get a lot of sun, which I don't really love about it, but I love fiddle figs. And I bought this plant 5 years ago, and I was like, it was a big one. I love them. And I'm one of those people that like talks to plants, and like because they can hear us.
They have a nervous system too.
Yes. So all of a sudden, this plant was losing its leaves, and I'm like, oh my God, I got really distressed. What am I doing wrong? I'm like watering it the right amount. Then I started researching everything you can do. I got like the organic plant food for it. I went to every like really nice nursery in Los Angeles, and it just kept dying and lost every leaf. And it's just this these branches. And my friends would come over and like, Sarah, it's so ugly. You have to get rid of it. I'm like, it's alive. They told me it's alive still. I'm not getting rid of it. I had it in that dining room for 2 years. It was like alive-ish.
Yeah.
And I was trying everything. I was like, I can't give up on this plant. Part of me that probably comes from my own history of like, don't give up on something. And then one day I was like, okay, I did this, literally I did like a ceremony for this plant in my backyard. I was like, I'm so sorry that I did this to you. Yeah, I literally did. And then I left it there. I went away on vacation and I came back. So I did nothing to the plant. I came back 2 weeks later and the plant had 20 leaves on it. 20 leaves. And I have consistently done in 2.5 years. It's kind of weird to have a fiddle fig in your backyard. It's like strange in an indoor pot. But I've done nothing to that plant besides every once in a while I throw some water in it. And it is thriving. Now, my point in sharing this story is because we have to think about what are we watering our plant with. And for many of us, we are the plant. We are consistently watering ourselves with vinegar. We are not giving ourselves what we need. A fiddle fig needs more direct light. I had a dark dining room. It is not going to be able to thrive there no matter how much I do to it. And the same goes for us. If I'm not giving myself the conditions necessary to thrive, I can go to therapy every day and I could do the regulating stuff, but I have to really look at what am I fueling myself with. And I work from home and I live alone. Okay, so we need connection to be regulated. So I'm already combating something there. And I'm looking at a computer screen for maybe like 9 hours, 10 hours a day.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot. So in order for me to be regulated, I know that I'm going to have to intermittently throughout my day be doing lots of things to bring regulation into my system. I work out first thing in the morning, every single day. I also, when I wake up, I don't look at a phone. A phone has the entire world inside of it. Nervous systems evolve very slowly. Human evolution happens very slowly. And our nervous systems haven't evolved from the time when we lived in a village, and you and I lived in this village, and there was like 3 other villages we knew about, and we're like, oh, can you believe so-and-so from that village drowned in the river? Oh, that's so awful. And then someone else is sick in the other village. Oh, this is a lot. 2 people. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. News traveled very slowly.
And that was enough for our nervous systems to digest and metabolize and take in. Now, what do most people do? The first thing they do when they wake up is they look at their phone, and they think they're being empathic, and they must know everything in order to be a loving human being,
or to be safe. Like
or
I
to
need to know,
yes.
so be safe, and it's
That's
actually
right.
the opposite. Yeah.
And what it does is you're literally fueling dysregulation in your nervous system. And because you're metabolizing it. What are you ingesting into your body and your nervous system? So I'm already starting my day in dysregulation. And then most of us are chronically fueling that. So we have to combat it. For me, one of the first things I do is I go in my backyard and I close my eyes and I imagine that I lost my sight and I imagine I lost my hearing, because someone in this big city is experiencing that. And I take a few breaths thinking, what would life be like this? And then I imagine what it would be like to get my sight back, and I open my eyes. And a lot of times there's tears rolling down my eyes. Like if you really look at the sunlight on a green plant from that place, oh my goodness, it's so incredible to be alive. Like the sound of birds saying hello to each other. Mm-hmm. If you couldn't hear that and then you could hear that, Oh, and then like the ability to feel the warmth of a coffee cup, like, and to smell it is so incredible. And that is an exercise of embodiment and regulating. You start the day, that takes me 60 seconds. And if we consider just some examples, throughout my day, I stop and feel the sun on my face, just in between calls, just for like 5 minutes or 4 minutes or whatever you have. So I will shake energy out of my system. When I go on walks, I leave my phone and I imagine that, because our prefrontal cortexes are so strong, I imagine I am a child or sometimes I say an alien that just got this earth suit. What would it be like to get here? Nothing would have a name. Because we've associated everything with names, we stop experiencing them, like a tree or a flower. So if nothing has a name and I'm experiencing it for the first time, you're looking at it with wonder.
Like mailbox.
Yeah, like what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even in nature, you start to notice pattern recognition, like a tree trunk looks a lot like an elephant's trunk. That's so interesting. What does it feel like? And this is why we love, one of the reasons why humans are so drawn to animals and children. Because like a baby, they're like, what is this alien thing? Hand, do you eat this thing? No, you don't eat it. It hurts if you do that. Like they're so present to the experience of life. If you go on a walk like that, it will regulate you. Wow. I go on a walk and I'm like, how many flowers can I smell? I might be the only one that smells this flower besides a bee. And it's free. And like to smell a gardenia, like, oh my God, it's incredible. And what are most people doing? They're on their phone, multitasking while they're walking. They're not present at all. And so we think, oh, I'm doing this thing to regulate. It won't regulate you if you're not present to what you're doing. So it's the intermittent sprinkling of regulating tools throughout our day that actually regulates your nervous system.
Thank you for listening to the Heal with Kelly podcast. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for more empowering wisdom and inspiring healing stories. And make sure you hit the follow button on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss that one episode that holds the answer you've been searching for. Oh, and if you found this episode inspiring, please rate, review, and share Heal with Kelly so that we can grow our audience and reach more people. We truly appreciate it. Lots of love.